Today we're in Rock Island, Illinois at the Rock Island Arsenal, a U.S. military installation located on an island in the Mississippi River. We're here today visiting the Mark VIII Liberty tank. Now 100 of these tanks were built right here in the Rock Island Arsenal in the years 1919 and 1920. Another 25 of these tanks were built in England, but only one of those 25 was completed before the end of the war in 1918, and that was just a prototype. Originally, the nickname for this tank was the International Tank. It was to be produced and used by the French, the British, and the Americans, so that we'd all be on the same page and have the same tank. This tank was designed by Brits and Americans together for a giant spring offensive that was to take place in the year 1919. But fortunately, World War I ended November 11th, 1918, and this never had to go into the war. Out of the 125 of these tanks built, only 3 are on public display. One here in Rock Island, Illinois, one at the Bovington Tank Museum in England, and one at Fort Benning, Georgia. Probably the most interesting detail about this particular tank is that it was built in Rock Island, and then 100 years after it was built, it was returned to the Rock Island Arsenal to be restored to the condition we see it in today. It was a rusty mess when they got it, but the workers here do excellent work. It's based on the British Mark V tank. The Mark VIII was a heavy tank stretching more than 34 feet long and 11 feet wide, weighing in at nearly 40 tons. It was armed with 2 6-pounder Hodgkins guns, and either 7 Hodgkins machine guns or 5 M1917 Browning machine guns. It was powered by a V12 Liberty engine and had a maximum speed of just over 5 miles per hour. This was built from 1919 to 1920. There were 100 of them built. They weighed 37 tons, and they took a crew of 10 people to operate this beast. And you know, I can't help looking at this thing without thinking of Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. That was a different tank than this, but you can see where it's very similar. Here we see the top image is a Mark V tank, and the bottom image is the tank used in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You can see where it's very similar. However, the tank in Indiana Jones wasn't a tank at all. It was built by Hollywood special effects artists, made out of old excavator parts and other things they had laying around. There's even a little tiny baby tank model that they used in filming the movie. Here's a photograph taken in the year 2007 of the Indiana Jones tank. After this photo was taken, the tank was moved to Disney World, but they didn't repaint it or restore it, at least as far as I know. Maybe they should take it to Rock Island and have the boys do their thing. One thing I always wondered was, is there enough room that if I were to lay down, could the tank just run me over, but not squish me? And the answer is yes, you probably could, but man, if this thing turned left or right just a little bit, it's pretty narrow under there. You would get squashed for sure. After 1922, only one U.S. military unit had the Mark VIII tank, and that was the 67th Infantry Regiment located in Aberdeen, Maryland. They had these until 1932, where they started to phase them out, and by 1934, all the Mark VIIIs were in mothballs. In 1940, Canada had a shortage of tanks that they needed for training, so we offered them the Mark VIIIs that we had at scrap prices, and the Canadians still declined to take them. They decided to go another route with a lighter tank. This particular Mark VIII sat out at the Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland until 2014, where it was moved to Fort Benning, Georgia. Then in 2021, it was brought back home to where it was born, the Rock Island Arsenal in Rock Island, Illinois, and underwent a 3-year restoration. In the year 2024, it was put on display where you see it right now. And you can come visit it. You can come check it out. Just bring 2 forms of ID to get onto the arsenal. And you can't miss it. It's gigantic. It's definitely worth checking out. Until then, this video will have to do. I'm glad you checked out the video. I'll see you down the trail somewhere. Until then, have a great day.